coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Oh, yeah. Damn good coffee. And hot.
Damn good coffee and hot.
That's what I told you. Damn good coffee and hot. Oh, good morning, folks. How good does it feel to be canceled? Welcome. It is Thursday, April 13th, 2023. The great Mark Farner is scheduled to be my guest today around 9:15. Hopefully everything goes smooth with that and he'll be here. I expect him to. We've never had a problem before. But we've never done the morning show before. So there's that. I have a new lease on life. I've been canceled. And I have to tell you, it feels pretty good. What feels good about being canceled? Well, here's the story in a nutshell. Been working for a production studio since last September as an operations officer, trying to redirect some of the business and develop a new avenue to a business that was basically rooted in real estate, videography, and photography. Now doing some more creative things, podcasts and television shows and things like that. And one of the clients, one of the bigger paying clients for that division of the company, was a social media client as well as a production client, and followed me on social media. Now, I didn't ask them to follow me. There's no reason for them to follow me, friend me. But if you do that, you're going to see some comments that you are going to find objectionable. If you listen to this program, you're going to hear some comments that you will find objectionable. I'm not for everybody, and I don't intend to be for everybody. But nobody is forced to listen to, watch, or read what I post on social media. Anyway, this guy did. He decided on his own that he should follow Matt Napo. He should add me as a friend on Facebook, whatever. And then did not like some of the things I was posting. Now, 2 nights ago, as if you know me and you do follow me, you know that I have a lot of fun with my Met fan friends. And I like to bust balls about the Mets because they have not won a championship since 1986. It's been a while. And I like to just kind of tweak them because every year they swear they have the greatest team. Every spring they have the greatest team. All through the year, generally, even when they suck, my Met fan friends are, you got to believe. I'm like, maybe you don't got to believe. Maybe you got to believe they're going to break your heart come the end of the year and they'll be golfing and fishing before. Anyway, I bust balls on the Met fans. I don't do it with malice. I do it with, humor, hopefully humor. If you get my humor, if you don't, I could see why it might get you angry. But in the morning, 2 days ago, I posted the Mets are the greatest team ever assembled. and I expected them to go on a 2-decade dynasty run. And then they played a game and they lost. And I went on. I said, "These Mets are the worst team ever. My sister hits harder than everyone in this lineup, and I don't even have a sister." And the owner of the client that is one of the bigger paying clients tagged the owner of the CEO in a comment where he said, "This is what's going to make me pull my account from your studio." Really? A joke about the Mets is going to get you to threaten to remove your business so that you can intimidate him into firing me. I'm okay with that, by the way. So I offered to resign. I said to the CEO, "You want me to resign so you can keep this client?" And he said, "Well, he needs the client, number one, but he did not want to fire me." I said, "Well, how about I resign? I mean, um, I'm not going to be dealing with people like this in a uh, civil way, and it's probably not going to end up good for your company if we get more people like this. And always got to keep the client." So I said, "You want to, and no, he did not want to." Then he brought up about a week ago, the same guy took a screenshot of my social media post on Facebook and said, "I can't have your guy posting this kind of stuff." Now, the CEO of the studio said it's his private Facebook page. He can write whatever he wants. You don't have to follow him. "Oh, I can't have my people." Your people don't know anything. His customers, his clientele, the guy who ended up getting me canceled, get me canceled. His clientele doesn't even know I exist. They don't know who I am. There's no reason for them to even look at my Facebook page or associate me with his brand. Turns out the thing he was upset about was me joking about Kid Rock buying beer so that he could destroy beer as a protest to the company that makes the beer, and how idiotic that was. But he took a screen grab of my shot about Kid Rock and sent it to the CEO of the studio and said, "I can't have him posting pro-gay shit on social media." Pro-gay shit. Which, first of all, the owner of the studio is gay. So I'm sure that just hearing that did not sit with him. But he said, "I can't control him, what he does, and just don't follow him." And he let it pass. And then the thing about the Met thing came up, and he tagged him in it and said, "This is why you're gonna lose our business." So now I was talking to my friend Ralphie. If you know Ralphie, he's the guy who sounds like Dice Clay. He's been on the program a lot. Ralphie's one of my oldest friends, one of my best friends in the world. And he said, "Fuck that studio owner." I said, "No, I like the studio owner. He's a good guy. He's trying his best to stand up for me. But the financial end of it doesn't make sense. He can't. He's taking a big hit to stand. He would be taking a huge hit to stand up for me, one that he can't afford, and I know that he can't afford it. This guy pulls his business. We're talking about almost $500,000 a year, and so I'm not worth $500,000 to this guy. I'm not. Even in my prime, I was not worth $500,000 a year to anybody. Sadly to say. So he had to do what he had to do. So I'm canceled. Now, that's a good thing. Because if you listen to this program, again, I'm assuming that if you're here today and listening to me, wherever you are out there in cyber world, that I've been looking for an escape hatch. Came as good news. It's giving me my life back, but that doesn't negate the principle, and that this guy is a bad dude. He doesn't like. He read that my comment was, first of all, wasn't pro-gay, wasn't anti-gay, wasn't anything. But in his mind, he read it as being pro-gay. Supporting gay people is a bad thing. Supporting gay rights is a bad thing in his view. And for me to point out the insanity of buying a product to destroy that product as a means to hurt the company that is getting the money you from your purchase, how stupid that is. That irritated him to the point where he's going to let it affect his business decisions. And if I were a person who was involved in legal matters all my life and somebody who was sue happy, there would be a lawsuit here. But I don't want to go down that road. And somebody said, well, why don't you just shame him now? I don't want to go down that. I don't want to go down the route of vengeance. I don't care. People know his name. People, if they want to know his name, they can know his name. The trail on social media is pretty clear. The business identity is pretty clear. If you want to be vengeful towards this guy, that's on you. I don't have any of that. But I do think at some point the some businesses who need to be able to say, as much as I need your business to survive, you're doing the wrong thing. And there has to be some kind of at least conversation to say, this is just bad. This is just bad behavior, bad business behavior, bad personal behavior, all of it. Now, the insanity of the beer thing, my voice is cracking already. That's when I'm getting emotional. When my voice starts cracking like Jordan Peterson, I'm going to cry. The insanity of the beer thing is, and we're talking about Bud Light in the cans. If you go to wherever you buy beer and go to buy Bud Light, you're not going to find any trans cans or gay cans. They're special order cans. They're not the general delivery. They're not forcing. This is the language that they want to use. They're forcing this gay stuff down our throat. They're shoving it down our throats. No, you have to go out of your way to get the cans, the trans cans. It's like not every case of Bud Light or any of the beers that are participating in this stuff, not every one has. There are special, just like when you go get Coca-Cola, and there are some cans. There's a special section, and don't ask me how I know about Coca-Cola because I don't drink Coca-Cola, and this is not a sponsorship or an endorsement of the brand at all. But if you're in a store, you see Coca-Cola, you'll see a section of Coke cans that are specialty cans, signature cans with names on them. Not everyone is that. You can choose to buy that or not. You don't have to buy the trans cans. They're acting like this is such an abomination that they're being forced to look at cans with a gay flag on it, a gay pride flag on it. They're not. You don't even have to see them. Nobody's forcing anything down your throat. And the other part of it is they're trying to act like this is something that was done to them. And what Rogan brought this up. This is not my original thought, but this is a good add-on. In the conversation with Sam Talent, Rogan, who is pretty anti-trans himself, brought up, what difference does it make if gay people or trans people are drinking a can that has something that says the brand supports them. How does that hurt you? Why does that bother you? You can't drink your beer in peace because a trans person is drinking the same beer. You're afraid that by drinking the same brand, you might become, or people might think you are. Or what is the fear? Good morning, Carl. Carl says, are you a trans can or a trans can't? I'm a transient. Uh, Ian says, trans can't went out on my car. I got to take it to the shop. Trans can. Flicker says she loves a special set of cans. This is all just really. I'm wondering if Mark is a minute late here. It's not like him. I gotta. You know what? Maybe I should take a short break and email him or text him and say, "Are you coming?" I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play a 2-minute commercial about coffee. How about that? That gives me plenty of time to do email. I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Koa Coffee. If you are a coffee connoisseur and want to experience the best coffee Hawaii has to offer, no blends, no compromise, try the true taste of aloha. Koa Coffee produces premium Hawaiian coffee, hand-picked, expertly roasted, and delivered from Hawaii to your door with aloha. From award-winning 100% Kona coffee grown on the slopes of the Mauna Loa volcano to the unique mocha beans of Maui, they strive to provide their loyal customers with the best quality and freshness. Since 1997, Koa Coffee has been known far and wide as a product of utmost quality, and their awards prove it. Koa Coffee was featured in Forbes' Top 10 Coffees of the World. This is the coffee Forbes called the best coffee in America. Find out what it's all about. Go to minddogtv.com/coffee. Oh, well. I guess I'll go for a run on the beach. Ian says, Mark better show. Or else, what? I would hope he would show. We've never had a problem with Mark showing before, except, again, we've never done the morning show for him. I know there goes the Jordan Peterson voice again. I believe he's in town for a couple of shows here. He's going to be at the St. George Theater on Staten Island, which is a Long Island wannabe, just north of Manhattan. If you don't know about Staten Island, Staten Island was built on a landfill. That wasn't, not entirely. I'm lying about that. The island was there, but a good portion of it is built on a landfill, and it stinks. It stinks like garbage. I'm sorry, Staten Island. It's the truth. Anyway, Mark will be there on April 21st, which is what? Is that Saturday? Next Saturday? So maybe he's not in town. Still a ways away. It's still next Friday. That's when it is. And then the 23rd at the Space at Westbury. I'm not sure if the Space is the old round Westbury Theater in the round. I don't think it is. I think it's like a huge club venue. So I was thinking he would be in town this week, so morning would not be that difficult for him. Mark better show. I think I clicked that one already. Let me see if I got an answer from him on my text. Nope, nothing yet. I apologize, folks. This is kind of surprising to me, and I am kind of still expecting that once him and Melissa see the text I just sent, that he will be here. Anyway, so that was the story. Got canceled yesterday, and feeling good about it. Got my life back. Now, on to bigger and better things. I'm going to be, if I can, and I think I can. I think I can. Can I? Can I please? I think I'm going to be expanding the morning show now that I have my life back and got the hours back. I'm not sure if I'm going to go earlier to later. Maybe add an hour earlier and an hour later. An hour for the East Coast people and some people who might be out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean or something who want that earlier hour, and then an hour later for people who aren't waking up yet, and might be a little easier to get some West Coast people. Also, speaking of that, I am officially in the comedy business. What? What? I know. That's what I said. I said what too. I'm going to be producing some shows here. I don't want to get too much into the details of it, but had some discussions yesterday with major bookers for area rooms, not bars, not restaurants, not pickup gigs, but great comedy rooms. And I have to say, as much as one might jump to the conclusion it had something to do with the conversation Jackie and I had yesterday, no. It was a conversation with somebody else after the program yesterday that made some connections happen. And I'll be bringing some of the comedians you've seen on this program will be coming to do shows here in the near future, and I will be putting together what I think are complimentary lineups for good shows. Now, I don't expect to be a huge success with this right off the bat. It's a learning curve for me. It's something I've never done before. So, like a beginner open micer or a beginner doing his first gig in music, any of that stuff, there's going to be some learning curve and some trial and error and some failures and some really tough soul testing, determination testing um, events, things that make you want to quit, some losses. Uh, oh, look, Mark Farner's here now. Here he is. Mark, you got your hair cut. Hey, Mark, you got your hair cut. Hey, wait, no, do that again. Wait, no, Mark, you got your hair cut. Wait. What's happening, Carl? You mute? You're not a mute. We know your mic's not muted because we heard squeaking going on. What do you got, a mouse? This is. Oh no, maybe his mic is muted. I don't know. Anyway, all right, figure it out. I'm gonna put you out of the room until you figure it out. You pop back in on your own when you're ready. Where was I? I'm gonna lose some money on some of these shows, and some of them I know are gonna be clusterfucks. Not gonna be great shows. But there's only one way to learn in this business, in that business, in any business. That's not true. You can go to school and learn business marketing or learn from somebody who's done it. But trial by fire seems to be my learning methodology or modality in everything I do in life. So I'm anticipating some good times, some bad times, and call man.
The best times, the worst of times.
It was the best of times. It was disastrous times. It was times where he booked just the worst comics somebody didn't show.
You wait till you get those inboxes that there's not enough people in wheelchairs in your lineups.
Yeah, well, I don't want to put on bad people. Somebody was telling me just for laughs is a trap for comedians. Like a lot of the local people anyway build their hopes around auditioning for just for laughs, like it's their ticket to fame, their home run, and then they don't get it, and they're, or even if they do get it, they're not ready for it or whatever. And if they do get it, it doesn't turn out to do anything for their career and all that stuff. I don't know, just for laughs, auditions. It's all over the comedy people and the groups I'm in. People talking about auditioning for just for laughs. Have you ever done it? Ever considered it? Ever? Is it even over there?
I think they used to be. I think they used to be big, right? So you'd get a deal off the back of it, like a lot. If you got signed off the back of it, you're in it. But now it's just everyone's in it and then not. I'm sure it's good, but I think it is what it was.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there is a possibility of doing good there, and it's all luck anyway. Half of it, luck who sees you, what happens.
Yeah, there's still so much mentality around, and I know this is not the kind of analogy you want to use with an Englishman. What could I use in soccer? No, a baseball analogy. They want to get up and hit a home run. They you get to your mid-30s or 40s, and you're just starting out at that point, and you got this idea of, I just want this one big shot that's going to put me on the map, and then I'm going to be on the Tonight Show and all that stuff, and don't want to do the work. I want the easy way. I want to win a contest. I want to go to America's Got Talent, and that should be the start of my career. I hate that, man. I got to tell you.
I don't like competitions. There's a route to it. I mean, you could win a show, get a pro spot, and someone could see you, and if the right person's in the right room, they might need an opener. It's like, come and open for me. And that, as long as you do the work, though, you could go and be inspired to go and do the work and accelerate it that way. But, yeah. I mean, there are lots of people who get things immediately, and it's always a mistake because there comes a point where they run out of material.
There's also the part where, if that's what you want, you don't really love the craft, and if you don't really love the craft, eventually
you want to be something rather than being able to do something.
Right.
So people go, I want to be a comedian. It's like, okay, you need to be able to do it well, though.
Yeah.
Right? It's just I just want to be something. I know someone that used to be like a poet, and then he's a comedian, and then he's a promoter. He just wants to be a thing that's known.
So Ralphie.
Hey,
Ralph was he went to Disney for his birthday.
I heard. Listen, I'm impressed. Normally, adults that go to Disney, I'd be having questions about. But
I have a hard time going to a comedy show by myself. He goes to Disney by himself.
Listen, I'm impressed. I love going to the movies by myself. It's one of my favorite things to do. I've been to many comedy shows alone, but I'm in around comedy shows quite a lot, I guess. Yeah, I haven't taken myself out to dinner properly. I've eaten in a pub. I've eaten in bar food. I've eaten in fast food. I've not gone and sat down in a restaurant, but I think I'm going to do it soon. I think I'm going to go and get a full meal.
I have to think about it. The only time I've ever done that was when I was with the Cult. We're traveling. Oh, no, I did it with the hair people, too. Because you were in hotels all the time, and there were restaurants in the hotels, and I didn't like any of the people I was there with. So I would go to the hotel restaurants by myself.
Hotels are different. Hotels, it's more common, right? Because you get a lot of people alone. They're just going to get some food.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, there's a really nice Italian place right near me, and they put me and Hackard to eat together because they thought that, we were together, but they put us in like a romantic section, I think.
Wait, you're in Europe, right?
Yeah, near Italy. I think they copied Italian food from New York.
Oh, okay.
And Chicago.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering how they even knew about Italy or Italians and stuff.
Yeah, well, the Italian restaurant near me has either they're real Italians or they're doing a really good accent. But you have a guest in the background now.
I do. All right, you want to hang or you're gonna leave?
Nah, boot me, man. I've got some things to do for this festival. So.
All right, go do some stuff. The fabulous Mark Farn is here. See you, Carl. The fabulous Carl Marn. Carl Mann. I called you Marn. Carl Marn. I need more coffee. This is what happens when you get canceled. You say Marn instead of Man. All right, see you later. Okay, the moment you have all been waiting for, the fabulous Mark Farner. Now, I gotta say this. It's one of the privileges in my life, and people know I'm not necessarily starstruck by celebrity, but Mark Farner was one of the guys I grew up idolizing. He's kind of like why I started playing guitar. What made guitar the instrument that I wanted to play, Mark Farner. And so one of the privileges for me in doing this, and he's one of the few people that I feel this way about, is getting to have a conversation, and a friendly conversation, where a guy who I looked up to as an idol, my role model in life, talking to me is like I'm on an equal basis with him, and that is like, it's mind blowing, it's thrilling, and I'm glad that we have another chance to do it now, ladies and gentlemen. Please open your ears, open your minds, and help me welcome back the fabulous Mark Farner. Welcome back, Mark. Oh, what are you? You're copying my lighting scheme back there. I see what you're doing there with the red lights.
Yeah, man. You know, it's in the blood. I guess you know what you're talking about. We're closer than we thought.
Yeah. So you're coming to town. I wasn't aware that you're coming to town next week. Do you even keep up with your schedule for next week to know where you're going to be?
No.
Oh, you're going to be in Staten Island, New York next week, and then Long Island, Westbury, the Space, which I think I've played the Space, but I'm not sure about that. Anyway.
All right. Awesome. Well, I love New York. You know, I love playing New York. There's some serious rockers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I heard you played Chase Stadium once, but that's
rumor.
Yeah, rumor. Now, Farner chords, I've been checking this stuff out. Now, interesting, because I just thought almost all your songs were just basic bar chord, the chord, not inversions and kind of stuff like partial chords and voicing and like triads and all that stuff. The way I've learned your songs, I'm probably wrong. Now I'm going to have to go through the course. The way I've learned your songs is just assuming that they were classic rock, the straight up chords that everybody plays.
Yeah.
Did you find that a lot of people were butchering your songs?
Yeah, dude. Somebody sent me a link and they said, "Hey, Farner, is this really how you play Sin's a Good Man's Brother?" And I watched that link. It was a YouTube link. Somebody trying to teach people how to play my stuff. And the first chord was wrong. The second chord was wrong. The third chord was wrong. I'm going, no, this is not how you play it, or not how I played it.
Right.
And then I started watching some of these videos, because there's numerous videos of people doing Sin's a Good Man's Brother. I mean, I watched videos for like an hour and a half, and there were still more. But in that hour and a half, not even one played those chords, those correct chords. So I got back, and a friend of mine, Jimmy Romeo, who is a cinematographer down in Detroit, and I said, "Jimmy, man, I would like to do some of these videos like people are doing, but I want to give them away for free. I don't want to charge anything. I just want to make sure people are playing them correctly."
Wow.
I mean, I wrote the song. Who better than to learn the chords from?
Right.
And even though there are good guitar players out there, good guitarists who are doing a dang good job as far as your ears are concerned, but they're hitting the wrong chords.
That's amazing. Now, is it just chords, or is it chords and leads too? I mean, are people butcher? I know. The second part of the solo in American Band, I butcher all the time. I'm not butchering this. Well, I'm playing the way I hear it, and the way my mind is trying to piece together, because it's not super clear, all the notes on it, and I know I'm fudging it. That's a better word for it. I'm fudging it. Do you point out the lead parts too in the series?
Some of them, yes. The ones that are more iconic leads for like American Band. And then I say, I was sitting in the studio after Rundgren. We did the pass, and he recorded me doing the lead guitar, and I was sitting in the studio with my cans on, and I'm listening back to the take, and I just start playing that harmony part. Da, 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 da. So he said, "Oh, dude, we got to do that." So I said, "Okay, let's do that." And so that is me playing the part and then playing the harmony part to it, which that can't happen on stage. So my keyboardists, whoever that is, they hit like a clavinet sound and play the harmony
Right.
and that part of the song. And that's not very long, maybe 2 bars. And
Right.
and then we're back to, you know, but not so much the leads, although even in People That Stop the War, I show how to play those harmonics and where they're at, because a lot of people, I mean, nobody got that right either. So I just, the things that I saw people were getting wrong, I showed them how I did it.
Okay. Now the other part that is really tricky, and I'm not sure if you're including this, and probably not, but I think it's important in learning your music, the tone, the the equipment. I think the not so much the equipment, but the chain of equipment, like where the wah-wah is in the line of all that kind of stuff, and the how you get the tone that you get is as important as those chords. No.
Yeah, brother. But that's a whole nother series.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another series.
So, are you using like a complicated pedal board, or is it a homemade type of thing? You just putting you together yourself, or
I In these instructional videos, I'm using what I now use on stage, which is a Kemper stage. You know the Kemper, right,
yeah,
Matt?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, but a lot of you start out with very clean sounds on the tutorials, at least from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's very cool stuff. In the intro video,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about you growing up, and that you would have these jam sessions on your mother's house or your aunt's house, and it would be like a whole family. Now, to me, that sounds like heaven. Like, I wish I could have grown up in that. But it almost sounds like you had a show on your property every weekend. Do I have that correct?
It was in the house.
In the house.
It was never outside. It was always in the house around a table loaded with food, brother.
And so, was everybody like guitar players, or did they have drummers and bass players and keyboard players and all that?
No drums and no keyboards, just banjo, fiddle, guitars. My dad blew saxophone, and the women sang like angels. Man, family has a certain harmony that's all family. You can't throw an outsider in there and get that family thing happening. So that when the women would sing, brother, it was like angels. I'd look up. I'm this little guy, 4 years old, looking up at all these grown-ups and watching what's coming down and listening, man. When those women sang, I had to stand there and watch. I was like hypnotized by this beautiful sound.
That's so cool. I mean, and that's an upbringing. Again, I didn't have that. I mean, I heard my grandfather had played a mandolin, but I never saw him play it. He was too old by the time. But it just sounds like, for a musician, somebody who, just loves the craft, that is just like a perfect upbringing. And you'd hate to say envy, but I envy that. you know.
I hear you, brother.
Yeah. So now, 432.
Yeah.
How do we get there? How is there a setting on a tuner? I mean, how do you get to 430?
Yes. I'm using a Diodario headstock tuner. It's a little tiny thing like this, but it'll fit on any headstock. And I tune it down to 432. You can go up or down from 440. It comes on in 440.
Right.
But I tune it down to 432. And then when I turn it off and turn it back on, it comes back in where you had it. So it's always coming back in 432. And they're they're the best tuner I've ever seen as far as a headstock tuner. Micro little tiny thing. You can put it under the headstock and look under the neck, or you can put it over the top and get the upper view. But either way, because you can flip the screen on it, it'll do the 180.
I had one once, and I took major abuse for posting it. There was a picture of me on social media that was posted with it on there, and all these guitar players were like, "Take that thing off of there." So since then, I'm a wussy when it comes to getting beat up on social media. I bowed down to the pressure. Since then, I just use the pedal board, the tuner that's in the pedal board, and it doesn't have any. So I'm like, how the hell is he getting to 432? I still have not, since the last time you were here, I have not experimented with it. Talking to Jackie Martling about it yesterday, and he was asking me about it, and I was like, I really don't. It's not a half step down, like it's not a half step down like you would tune down
No.
to E flat, right?
Right. Right.
It's like a quarter of a step, or
I don't know. It's 8 numbers down from 440, brother.
now
I
is
don't even
it
know what those numbers are. I can't read music. I know nothing about if you put music in front of me with notes. I'm like, oh, sorry,
yeah.
can't go there.
Well, so now this is it. Does it help with preserving your voice and I mean, if it's not a half step or anything like that,
No.
hard to think that it makes it that much easier to sing, right?
Well, it's just pleasant to sing in that that little whatever that is, that quarter step, 8th step, whatever it is. It's pleasant because of the nature of the frequency, because that frequency is compatible with everything in nature. That's
How did you first get started with 432?
a friend of mine, Navy SEAL, retired, living in San Diego, sent me a link, and he said, watch this thing and then call me. So I watched it, and it was a guy who put a 15-inch speaker next to a kiddie pool on a deck, and he had a tone generator and an amplifier, and he played A2, and that's low. That's next to the bottom as far as the A's on the scale. A2 at 125 decibels, and it put chop on that water. That water was like just frothing and chopping, And I'm going, yeah, that's some SPLs right there.
It's great.
Then he turns down to 432 and plays A2 at 125 decibels, and it's flat like glass, brother. I mean, and I went, whoa, what is that? So then I took him up on it, and I called him. I said, okay, you got my attention, brother.
Yeah.
What is it with this 432? And then it actually has a name. I couldn't tell you what that is. I just know that when he says, now I want you to tune your acoustic guitar to 432, and I tuned that thing to 432, and as it's coming into tune, there's a harmonic, there's a whistle on the top of that note that I had never heard before. And on each note, when you're tuning to 432, there's that whistle. And it's almost like, dude, you can tune to the whistle.
Right.
You don't even need that tuner if you train your ear to that whistle, to that.
Do you have perfect pitch?
Oh, hell no. Mine is shot. I mean, because my hearing, man, I'm like half deaf in my left ear, and I can't see out of my right one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe me. And people who know me know this to be absolutely true. Now we have people in the chat room asking questions. I understand now. An electronic keyboard, that's easy. There's a dial on, just like on like a tuner, where you can. I don't know. I actually don't know this. That a Yamaha or a Korg or any of these electronic keyboards that actually can allow you to just tune down to 432.
Yeah, you go into global on the keyboard, and you can set it anywhere you want to.
But the question I have now, if woodwind instruments and winds and saxophones, like you mentioned, those things, they can tune pretty, they tune by ear anyway, and they're just tuning on how hard they're blowing. The thing that I did a session once with Bashiri Johnson on drums, and in this session, before we started recording, he started tuning his drums. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's tuning his drums to the key of the song, and he's going notes and notes. And I'm like, drums don't have notes. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Did your drummer have to go through a new tuning process for its 432?
Yeah, well, he's always there way ahead of time. He's tuned up before I even get to sound check, brother. That's how on it Hubert Crawford is. You know, I stole him from James Brown, and I mean, he was on tour, and we played in Montgomery, Alabama. The lineup, it was a street festival. The lineup was War, Grand Funk, and James Brown. Dude,
Wow.
what a bill and what a crowd. Oh my God. And when I saw Hubert play, my son Jason was traveling with me at the time, and he says, "Dad, I think you're going to be playing music with Hubert someday." And I said, "What? Where do you get that?" Dude, he's my drummer now. He learned everything from Don Brewer. He's a Don Brewer fan. You know, he says, "That's my guy, man. Don Brewer's my guy." Learned how to drum, all that. So any song that I do, he already knows it, and he knows the guitar part, and he knows the bass part. He's a true
Wow.
musician, man, and a blessing to Mark Farner's American Band.
Very cool. So now you mentioned that you can't read music. So what? And a lot of people, even if you start out reading music, you let those kind of skills go to the side. But I'm just curious. Now, you grew up in this big family where everybody played and had week. Did you ever go to any kind of lessons, or you completely self-taught?
I took 3 lessons, brother. My mother got me 6 lessons and rented a K acoustic guitar.
Okay.
The strings are about that far away from the neck, dude. It would have better been used for a bow and arrow. You know that guitar. but the guitar teacher had a hunting accident after my 3rd lesson, and he tells my mother, "Mark's going to have to just go and watch the guys in the high school band and learn from them, because he's picking up by sight now. He watches me and he can play it. So just have him go do that, because I can't. I'm going to be off for quite a while." He shot himself in the foot with a 12 gauge. And, yeah.
A lot of that going on in Michigan.
Oh man. Yeah. Back when we had ringneck pheasant, man, this state was loaded with ringneck pheasant until that. What was it? The DDT got to the eggs and thinned them out, and
the world is completely changed as far as from when we were young, as far as resources and stuff like that. Where I am, we used to have clammers out on the bay. I mean, as far as you could see, clam boats.
Yeah.
Now that industry is dead. There's nothing here. It's like, so.
Yeah.
It's terrible to see that, and I wish
the man. Yeah.
Yeah. But so so you 3 lessons, and then but learning songs now, when you're writing songs, do you think, because your chords, we mentioned, and Farner chords is about straightening these misconceptions out. Do you think in terms of creating chords, or you just playing when you're writing this stuff, or you just playing like what feels comfortable, and then you have to figure out what is that chord post tense? You follow me on
Yeah, man. I play what is comfortable, and I don't even think about figuring out what it is, because I'm not writing it down.
Right.
But I've seen guys who are doing chords on like YouTube, and they say this is an augmented 5th 9 ZQ.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I couldn't tell you what that is.
That's the problem with, and this is probably why so many people play your stuff wrong, is if you're a thinking person, you're not just feeling it like you were when you were writing it and just doing what's comfortable. You're trying to play, well, what could that, and you're putting your mind into the equation too. And music shouldn't be up here. It should come from here, right?
Right
If it's
on,
too
brother.
much from here, that's
Yeah.
where you get lost. And I think
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Absolutely, brother.
Your hands. Can I see your hand? Yeah, they're about because I have this thing. Because my teacher, my very first guitar teacher that I went to, had really small, delicate, almost like ladies' fingers, like very thin, but just incredible shredder. But I'm looking at Tommy Emmanuel now, and he's got these fingers that come out the here. They're so strong and like
Yeah.
the tools you were born with affect the way you play.
Absolutely.
So does that comes into where some of those strange chords come into, right? It's just because of your now the moving to the Parker and the neck. Does that change the way you play those strange, not normal chords?
Only, yeah, only in the stretch, like on American Band in the chorus. We're an American band, and it's in D, and then you go down 3 frets. We're an American band, and then I do that, ba ba da ba, and nobody has hit that one. But it's up. I mean, it will be up in rotation on the Farner chords. The first one is, of course, People Let's Stop the War. It's a timely release.
Yeah.
And the second one's going to be a keyboard song. I don't know if it's going to be foot stomping or creeping, but it's going to be a keyboards, because guitar players play keyboards way different than keyboard players.
That's true.
Like God, Eddie Van Halen when he did Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I knew that was him playing that. I said, yeah, that's a guitar player right there playing that.
Yeah, he's similar to you in that he never learned to read music, but he was a classical pianist before he was a guitar player, which is weird. Learning that stuff, faking it. And according to him, I saw him in an interview, he was in a concert and they put the sheet music up in front of him and he couldn't read sheet music at all. And he had to fake that he was reading the sheet music. Cool stuff there. I want to talk to you about what Jackie told Jackie Martling. I don't know if you recall meeting him, but he shared a story about when he met you. There was some kind of event going on with rock stars that weren't necessarily paired together, doing one of their own songs and then doing a Beatles song. It was like and he said, you and Jack Bruce and Rundgren were paired together, and Jack Bruce so you were kind of like in between Rundgren and Jack Bruce, because according to Jackie, they weren't getting along and they were almost to the point of hating each other, and caught you in the middle. Do you remember that? And does it ring a bell at all?
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't a pleasant thing.
But you were friends with Rundgren, though, right? Because he had produced you, right?
Still friends with Rundgren, but Jack just couldn't take because Jack and I, we were close. As soon as we shook hands and hugged, man, we were close. And I appreciate that we were so close that he came to my defense no matter what, no matter who, no matter.
Right.
Because he thought that I was being put down
wrong
by down by whatever was going on, and I won't go into it, but it didn't take but that one time, and that was cured.
Yeah, it's a shame, and I think we've talked about this before, but it's a shame that in this business, Timothy B. Schmidt from the Eagles, you said every band is on the verge of breakup at all times. It's a shame that it has to be that way, and it can't be, because most of the time, like with Grand Funk, you guys were friends as teenagers, yes?
Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
it's kind of like the important people of your life, and you can't keep those friendships for life, and that to me is a little sad.
Yeah,
It's a little sad, but it's the nature of the business, right?
right on, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you still hear from contemporaries, or is that like just a wishful thinking on the fans' part that I don't know, Jack Bruce might, or somebody might call you up and, and say, "Hey, how's it going? Let's put a show together." Anything you know, keep in touch with any of classic rock heroes?
Sure. You know, I'm right now. I'm working on some music with Mark Slaughter, and from oh my God, what's his name? The drummer for Vanilla Fudge, man. It's
Come again.
Carmine. A piece,
Yeah.
Carmine.
A piece.
A piece. But you know, there's just very few people that I do stay in touch with. Rick Derringer is one.
Wow.
Uh,
I
yeah,
worked for Rick as a young man for 6 months. He was putting out a new line of guitars at the time of BC Rich, and I was like interning for him for. He wouldn't remember me though, but I mean that one of another one of my heroes growing up, and he was one of the first people who came to my when I was in college because the college I went to Eastern New Mexico University, and getting talent to go down there for a show where they knew tops the auditorium might have 500 people, and it was a tough
yeah.
thing. So he was one of the first rock stars I got to see like 2 feet away and watch his hands the whole time as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, magic
Awesome.
moment. Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
brother Matt, I wanted to just say I'm sorry I was late here this morning. I had my wires crossed,
Not a problem, brother.
but I got another one coming up at 10.
Right, I'm gonna let you go right now. I was getting to that now. Farner Chords is part. It's markfarner.com. You don't have to go to a special website for there. There's a link right up at the top of your main website for Farner Chords. Now the next one is you're doing these for free. There's no charge for these at all.
Right.
Wow. Well,
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
know, my reward, brother, is if somebody learns it and learns it the correct way, when they go to play it, they're going to be playing it the right way. And that's for me, that's overwhelming, the joy that I get from just thinking about that,
Well,
brother.
I'm definitely, no matter what, I'm going to try to see if I can learn to correct the mistakes I've been making for 40 or 50 years.
Well, all of these instructional videos are in 432, brother. So you got to get that little head
You know
start
what?
tuner
I'm
out.
gonna do that today.
Yeah,
As soon as we get off the air today, I'm tuning down to 432 and seeing what it's like.
that's a
Mark, I
damn good
appreciate
answer.
you being here. And people go to see him next week here
Thanks,
on
man.
Long Island and in Staten Island.
Appreciate it, brother.
Have a great day. Bye for now. Mark Farner, folks. 432. I'm gonna try it. I don't think I can do it with I don't know. Can I do it with the tuner I have in the pedal board? This is the question. If not, might have to go out and buy one of those little headstock tuners. I did take a Phil Barker from the Slam Jammers was the guy who started this whole beating me up over. Oh, let's bring Carl back in. Carl's still there. Look at that. Carl's still there, but he's muted. He's a muted Carl.
Magically unmuted now. Yeah, I was just hanging in the background. I thought I'd listen from
Brother man.
this side of the fence. Yeah, it's cool chat.
Yeah, he's a cool
Sure.
guy.
I'll go and look into some of his stuff. He should do a YouTube channel, to be honest. Is he putting it on his site there? Unless he's trying to drive people to his site, but there we go.
Now this 432 thing has got me a little nervous because it's a Q thing, you know. QAnon is behind the resurgence of 432. That's what gets me a little nervous about. It's like, and I wanted to try it last time he was here because I know the story about the water effect. I definitely want to try that. How you actually, I don't know. Can it really make that much of a difference? Eight vibrations per second from 440 to 432 make that much of a difference. What are you doing? Reading about it? Oh, we lost Carl. We'll find out though. You know what? Maybe I should do it online. I'll do it live. I don't know if I could do that. Oh, he calls popping back. He's in and out. He's out and in. He's in and out, ladies and gentlemen. He's like,
Chrome's having a
this
fit.
is Carl.
That's basically what I'm doing. I'm also making the amount of different sizes of picture that I've got to get for this festival. We've got some artwork being made, but now we've got to rush to get something for the brochure. So I'm editing a tiny square picture for something else as well. But yeah, so Chrome crashed basically. I don't know anything about that sort of tuning, that sort of difference. But I guess it does. If you can hear the difference and he can hear the difference, I guess it does. I mean, maybe
we'll
the
find
average
out.
person, right?
Now, Adam Neely, who is a online music theorist who has a YouTube channel, says there's nothing to it. There's a lot of controversy in the music industry about it, and some people who swear by it, and then people say no, it's just.
Yeah, but why are the people that swear by it wrong? I mean, it's the same thing with like listening to vinyls or CDs, right, or MP3s. We can't prove that people can't hear extra shit in there, and I don't know if there's been any experiments on it, audio science and stuff. There might have been.
Ted, I asked him about Sweet Connie. She's doing her act. I asked him about that last time or the time before. He's been on a number of times, so
go check out the old video, Ted. I haven't. It's tough because he wasn't on for long, and it is tough to ask. I've had it before with Andres as well. And people are saying ask this, ask that, and it's like, well, I'm engaged with the conversation, so it's like really difficult to see all the questions as well. So I mean,
and I don't want to rehash conversations we've already had several times, even though I know fans have not heard it yet and would like to know some of these things.
Listen, that conversation was how do you play this? Show me your hands. What tuner do you use? But it was good. He was full of information. That guy.
I'm surprised his hands are like mine. His hands are like, because my hands are abnormally fat and chunky and short. My fingers are short. I got sausages, and I looked at his hand. And I was like, same thing.
They can get fatter as you get older as well, can't they? I think mine are sort of swelling up a bit here.
I do not know. That's probably.
My nose is already growing. My ears are getting bigger.
Oh, my nose! My nose is. If I live, this is why I have to die soon before my nose gets totally out of control.
I noticed the other day I used to have this cute little nose and it got broken, so it's all messed up. But I noticed the other day, I thought it didn't used to be this far away from my face, so it's definitely getting out there.
That's something wrong. See, now I'm sorry to get into this because I know we have some religious people in the audience, but if there's a God, how would he fuck up the design of human beings that badly? Because some of these things are not necessary. Your nose does not need to keep growing. Your ears do not. The hair in your ears does not need to start growing over your head.
That's annoying.
It's just a design flaw. It's all it is. It's like if there's a God who's a perfect, omnipotent designer, creator of life, why didn't he do a better job?
Maybe he's so perfect that he has to make us imperfect, so we have something to rail against. I
thought he was making us in his own image.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
I'm sorry, folks. I didn't mean to get into atheism versus theism discussion here on such a happy Thursday where I've been liberated. I have been, I don't know, set my people free.
Do you enjoy the chat? You got to chat to Mark Farner today, one of your heroes. You've been set free from the studio. I mean, we could call it cancelled, we could call it getting kicked out, but that's also wild. I mean, also, did they also ever come onto the show and see you go? These pieces of shit don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
But that's crazy though. That I get it. He's got a lot of cash in there, but I'd be, if I was the guy at the studio, I'd be making burner Twitter accounts and just putting his emails and tagging him.
Yeah, well, and the oddest thing about it is the guy publicly went on Facebook to say, "I'm telling your boss you said this to get you fired." Like this.
What a pussy! What a pussy! I'm telling the teacher. Like, that guy needs his head. Did you ever do bug washing in the US? So you get a kid and you put his head in the toilet and flush.
Yeah.
Good at bug washing. That's what that guy needs. And it probably did happen to him his entire life. I'm telling the boss.
I had a guy tell his mother. He was 28 years old when this happened. He called his mother and said, "Matt Napo stuck my head in a toilet It never happened. He called his mother, and then his brothers were all mad at me. Like, what'd you do to Matt? His name is Matt. Why did you stick? I mean, that's really low. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? He was, my sister-in-law was renting this apartment upstairs in my house, and he was banging her, and then thought he could just move in without paying any rent. I was like, you can't live here. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I went and said, you can't live here. And
Fair
he
point.
told his family that I stuck his head in the toilet.
Should have done.
And then
if they believe it, don't you always think, well, I should have done. If that's what you think I did, I should have just done it. It would have been satisfying.
And he had 8 brothers, and they all wanted to fight me over it. It's like, but he was 28 years old. We're not talking kid shit here. We're talking men.
That's wild stuff. Are they slow? I mean, I had my head. I had it done to me because I had older brothers. They're a lot bigger than me, and I had my head down that toilet every other Sunday.
Oh my
so yeah,
God.
by the time I went to school, I was doing it to the kids as well. I was like, right, what are we in there? It's fun.
See, I'm not big on vengeance, but I think if I had gone through that, I'd have to get some form of mild vengeance, not like serious vengeance, but you know what? You're gonna go to sleep. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up covered in bologna or something.
Cascading bullying is all it is. Someone bullies you, you're like, right, you get the smaller kid. I did some of that. There's some stuff I really regret as well. There's 1 or 2 incidents, especially one that I'm never going to say publicly, but I really, really, really regret. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah,
should have gone to prison probably. But
I've suffered some humiliation from bullies and stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too.
But I never the toilet. I don't know. Maybe it was just because there wasn't one in proximity. But you know,
well, that was where you'd bundle people in to beat them up, or they were always outside every classroom. There was always a toilet. So if before class or after there was a problem, it's normally in the toilets, or people are smoking in there. So
yeah, I'm gonna take this markfarner.com thing out of the banners here.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm going into this comedy business. I got to follow up with that today, but going to start booking some shows locally, New York and New Jersey.
There you go.
And you know, anybody who has any, I am open to advice. I definitely am. Anybody who has any ideas for me about do's and don'ts and what I shouldn't. The couple of people who have been on this program who are willing to travel for 5 or 10 minutes for a small pay, I'm going to help them out. But how to really put together a show, how would you approach a headliner? How do you put together a show?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even start with thinking about that? Do you start thinking with the headliner and who's the best support for this headline? How do you do that?
Yeah, it's tough. The night I'm hopefully going to start running at some point. I'm going to start trying to get a venue soon. That's exactly what I'll be doing, getting a much better show. But I'll be focusing probably trying to get the best headliner I can for whatever I can afford.
Yeah.
And then build the show. So you want a strong opener. But shows in the States are often built different to the ones over here as well. They're structured differently. But I would get a strong opener, have the headliner, and some middle spots of pretty good local comics.
Yeah. My wife wants to know why I'm doing this, why I want to do this. Well, I have time now.
Well, it's either that or talk to her, right? You're around the house all day, so give her that option.
Yeah.
You need to keep busy.
Yeah. If I don't, I'll go totally nuts. But so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also expecting to fail.
Problems, right?
I'm expecting to fail, and I know, the motivational people. That's a bad attitude to go. I think it's a good attitude to go with it. To expect that there will be failures, so that I don't let them.
As Rocky said in Rocky 5, it's not how hard you get hit; it's how you get up.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly, and I plan on getting
up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. It's all it is in comedy anyway. In comics, it's just no, and then maybe a yes, and the yes is like, oh no, yes.
Sam Talent finally got on Rogan.
Yeah, I saw a few people retweeting it yesterday.
Am I allowed to take credit for this? I would like to take credit for this. I know Doug Stanhope gave Rogan Running the Light 2 years ago, but Rogan was disinterested then. You could watch it. Stanhope hands Rogan the book, and Rogan's like, and he's not paying attention. But I will tell you this: Matt Napo flooded Joe Rogan's forum for guest suggestions with probably at least 100, probably more, when putting in Sam's name for a 6-month period of time, over and over again. So I'm taking credit for it.
You should absolutely take credit for it.
It
Yeah,
has
I'll
nothing
actually
to do with Sam's persistence and hard work. It's all me.
or everybody talking about him right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a listen later. Actually, I haven't had a chance yet. I'm a little bit busy this afternoon, but this evening I'll probably stick it on. It's good to see him on there.
I have listened to a couple of the clips, and I actually found myself agreeing with Rogan. I was like, well, man, maybe
I heard one earlier. I was like, wow, we'll put one on the on the green tick side.
Yeah. I'm really happy for Sam, and I'm glad it's
great. Listen, whatever, it's fucking phenomenal exposure. It's one of the best things you can have as a comic. So
I did not know that he was on Rogan, and the night before I put out a Sam Talent.
See, I thought you'd done that because he was. I thought, he's good strategy. He's putting it out on the same day.
I didn't know.
Maybe it's all the psychics you've had on the show have rubbed off on you, and you knew.
Maybe it's just good luck. But I was putting together reels on Jade Whitecotton one that's out there, and I knew. I mean, this is basically on you. I can't believe YouTube didn't take down the full episode yet, because he goes off. I'm talking about, at the time, I remember this very clearly. I was interviewing transformational coaches, like 3 in a week or something. And it was bugabooing me. It's like, transformation coach is not about self-help. It's not about, working on what you need to work on for yourself. It's about changing who you are completely. Like you don't want to be Carl Mann anymore. You want to be Jamie Dykes. And I want to completely change who I am. Transformation is not, I want to lose a few pounds. I want to learn to play guitar. It's not that. Transformation is, I want to be somebody I'm not. And I was going off on that rant. And he said, it's a shame we can't, or the trans conversation gets lost in that. And then he started going off on his views on the trans issues.
Oh, shit.
And I have to say, I agreed with him. It was very funny, but we both knew at the time, this shit's not going to fly. I mean, the censors are going to be all over this stuff. The way
I really try not to touch it. A few years ago I did, and it was silly, and I had to, because we're doing this new movie show with Sam now, and we went back through our old stuff because we basically used the same channel, and some of the old episodes, the names of the episodes were, I had to delete. I archived everything, but some I outright deleted, like some Instagram posts and some old episode names. No, these are not being on the internet. I was scared. I was like, no, these have got to go.
There's too much content for me to go and do all that, because I've woken up in the middle of the night and thought, oh shit, I gotta fucking take that down.
Yeah, an old podcast I did, and some people downloaded it because it was downloadable, on audio. Yeah. Just an audio one, and it's fucking the whole podcast doesn't exist. That one, I woke up in a sweat the same. I was like, shit, and I checked and thought, oh, it's not online anymore. But I know damn well people were downloading it because people.
Surprisingly enough, the Jay Whitecotton stuff that I thought. Now, every platform did censor it by either putting a warning label on it or age restricting it, something like that. But I thought that would generate more hate mail than anything I've ever got. I've gotten 2 emails about it, and both were extremely positive. I'm like,
I mean, you also got to be allowed, if you've done something a few years ago, you've also got to be allowed to say, okay, maybe I wouldn't do that today. You should be allowed to be able to change a bit. And
his point is, how can we ever? I don't want to paraphrase him too much here, but how can we ever get past these issues or make any progress on them if we're not allowed to talk about them openly and honestly and start hating people for the way they express an idea rather than engage with them and talk about why they feel that way? We just automatically go to the position of you're a bad guy for even saying that.
Everyone does it. Everyone falls into it. Politics as well. So everyone that did this, you're all pieces of shit. Probably not true, but that division is what keeps everything going. You know,
Right.
unfortunately.
So the
And it
events
shouldn't
of
be that
this
way.
week, and I'll let you go. I mean, I know we're over time here, but
No,
the
whatever.
events of
Good.
this week have changed my mind about cancel culture a little bit in the because they've all censored him, not pulled it down, but censorship in any form, whether warnings or stuff like that. I don't like that stuff. But then to see me get canceled, and again, I don't mind that. I'm actually happy that I got canceled, but it kind of woke me up to, yeah, Dave Chappelle can't be canceled, Louis C.K. can't be canceled, but the people on the bottom, the people who need that money, whatever they're making, $500 a week, $1,000 a week, those people can be canceled because they're not name value. You know, they don't have something else that they can monetize immediately. Like this guy who got me fired or got me to resign or whatever, however you want to put it. He doesn't know that my family doesn't need that money to survive.
It's a shitty thing to do, and unless it's something really outrageous, like you have, like, you know, you fucking molested someone or something when you're working in a Starbucks. I've always thought it's a shitty thing to do to get someone fired. Like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna find out where they work, and you know, you've done a tweet that might be insensitive, so you tag their employer and all. It's fucking shitty behavior, no matter what side. If it's you know, politics, if it's a right wing or a left wing, whatever side you're doing it to each other, it's shitty behavior. Because people lose their jobs, and all that does is spiral out. What do you think is going to happen in their house? Do you think it's going to be a happy house? Do you think everyone they're going to meet is going to be treated well? It just spirals out.
So I should text him today. I just beat my wife. I hope you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got a black eye due to you. Now, when I did approach him about it, and I said, I texted him. I said, "You can stop monitoring my page now. I'm no longer an employee of EPM Studios. You can stop monitoring my page." He denied all of it. He did. I don't even look at your page. Well, the evidence that there's a thing where you told the CEO, who my boss essentially, to fire me on social media. It's still there. I have not taken it down. So that proof is it. But he's got screenshots that he sent me. You're denying.
I mean, you were doing a lot of work for them as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
So just I guess the one positive is just think of the clusterfuck now, right? Now you've gone.
But if I wanted to, and I don't want to, but if I wanted to, I could really cause a lot of trouble for this guy. Not for me, but for the gay community, because of what he said. I don't want this guy posting any pro gay shit.
All you need to do is go on Twitter and tag LGBTQ and just say, this guy got me fired because this, and he said this. That's it.
Because he perceived that I'm supporting a gay movement, which I don't really have a dog in the fight.
You're just not attacking it. Just not attacking.
Just not attacking it. And I was attacking the stupidity of buying a product to destroy that product as a form of protest. Because
have you seen how many, is it Anheuser-Busch? Is that how you pronounce it?
Anheuser-Busch.
Have you seen how many products they have? It's it's like 100 products. They own Stella, which is a Belgian beer, Brahma, Brazilian, the stuff I drink in Brazil. It's the picture of everything they own. It's just insane. There's no way are they going to be able to avoid that at the weekend. They'll forget. They'll have 6 beers and just fall as a bud. It's stupid.
Oh shit! I drank a gay beer.
Yeah.
John Rich, who you might not know him, he's a country guy. He's got a bar in Nashville. Big and Rich was his thing, and he has a bar, John Rich's Rodeo or something in Nashville, and he took all the Budweiser products out, and then went on news claiming the people are upset. What are we going to do? They love Budweiser. Why has it been taken away from them? You volunteer to take it. It's like, this is so, you boycott a product and then say, I miss it so much. Why do I have to not have it?
Yeah, that's right. I was there. That's right on Broadway. So I was on that street. I don't think I was that. Okay, so that's right down the end of the street. I was near there. We didn't go in that one, but we were opposite on a rooftop.
Drink PBR. Drink more. If you whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. They probably own that. I don't know what the deal is. Me and Brett were drinking a lot of Miller Lite on Broadway and a couple of other things. I just let Brett order. He knew the stuff. Just give me your
Miller Lite is now doing it too, though. Miller Lite has now a trans flag on one of the bottles or something they put out.
Yeah, the problem is there was a big thing against Nike, whatever. And I saw a woman over here go, I've got a New Balance sports bra, and I deliberately said, I've got rid of my Nike one. But then New Balance did a statement on their website, and we also support everyone. It's
it's
just
almost as if
dumb.
this is all about profit. People are buying. Let's see, who can I cause a boycott against? Wait, first I'll buy their stock because I know my boycott is going to make their price go up, and then I'll sell this.
No one's boycotting. The people will forget next week. Honestly, they will get something else. Something else will happen, and they'll have something else to be angry about, and then they'll just drink Bud.
Oh, Ted wanted to know what did I miss? How did mine Bill Gates? I'll quickly recap it. Some guy. I worked for a studio for 7 months, since September, as a operations officer, trying to build what was essentially a real estate videography company into a entertainment videography company and film company. And one of the clients, who was one of the biggest money revenue sources, did not like that I posted the Kid Rock thing last week. I did not know about that. He sent that to the CEO of the studio, saying this guy can't be posting pro-gay stuff. But then 2 nights ago, he went on because I said something stupid about the Mets. I said the Mets were the worst team ever, and my sister could hit better than their lineup, even though I don't have a sister. And he said he tagged the CEO of the company, saying, "You're going to lose my account because of shit like this, or statements like this, or narratives like this, or whatever." So basically, he put the pressure on the CEO to fire me for what I did on my own Facebook page, which he didn't even have to see. He voluntarily went and looked at. That's the bottom line. So yes, I can get canceled. You can get canceled. Let's all get canceled. I'll cancel you. You cancel me. There's got to be a song in there.
Write one. Get really high and write one today. You've got free time now.
I want to get a black guy to help me, a rapper to help me out with the song. You can't say the N-word, but actually say the N-word. But the black guy has to say, because I can't say it. But so I want to say, you can call me Guido, you can call me WAP, you can call me, and we go down the line of all ethnic slurs that you can say, but you can't say, and make sure the black guy is saying the actual word.
Sure.
And that will be my hit song. You can't say.
Yeah, it'll be a hit for sure.
It'd be a big hit because a black guy is saying it, because whatever. It's just weird that we are in this time and place where we have to watch every word we say. It can't use it in any context, any of that kind of stuff. It's too tough to be a human these days. How are we supposed to coexist if we can't even agree on, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Jake Cotton said a lot of words that you can't say. It makes you want to see the clip even more, right? Knowing that he said some really, I don't know, incendiary type of things using language that YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and nobody lets you say. The F word is what he said several times.
Yeah.
Not fuck. The other F word. The one when fits into the whole subject matter. Anyway. So yeah. Jay is, I gotta say this. Jay is brilliant. And the fact that more people don't know that he's brilliant is a fucking sin.
Did I see him? I know his name. Did I see him on here? I might have seen something else he's done.
He doesn't perform that much. I think he's got some issues. He's brilliant. Again, brilliant, but I think because he seems to be so well informed about mental health issues that I think he's probably gone down the therapy route or at least studied it to some extent. He's really smart. I mean, the knowledge base is really full, but got ideas, well thought out ideas, not just a dude rambling. But I don't think he works that much. I think it's intentionally. I think he's one of these Ted. What's the Unabomber's name? Ted
Kaczynski.
He's got that kind of attitude towards humanity. He said, he starts out by saying, "I love people." Not really. I hate fucking people. So I think that has a lot to do with why he's not performing regularly. I think he truly...
Yeah, listen, I read a little bit of the Unabombers, the Unabombers manifesto. The first paragraph was that, yeah, I'm in, dude. I'm in. Where do I sign up? Let's not blow people up though. It's an interesting essay.
No blowing people up. No, there are other ways to cancel them. And if you really want to hurt people, You just go to their boss and say, "I want him fired." Look what he wrote on
What a
Facebook.
piece of shit. It's such a piece of shit move.
Oh, Oyster Bay is calling me. I wonder who that is. Could be Russ. All right. Should I take this?
Take it.
I'm gonna take it. Can I take it? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah. It's about your AIDS test, sir.
Oh, you're Nancy. I know who you are. I saw Oyster Bay. I'm on the air right now, so it's probably.
It's his piece. It's his piece on the
I'll call you
side.
back. I'll be off in 5 minutes. All right, thanks. Bye.
Is that your piece down by the beach?
Good thing I didn't put that on the air. It was Jackie's ex-wife, Nancy. Oyster Bay. I should have known. I thought Jackie right away, but his number would come up with his name on it and his goofy picture. But so yeah, all right, cool. So Nancy's back in town. What do you got planned? You got anything planned? Today's a Thursday. Back in the day when Jamie Dykes was still alive, today would be a Dykes and Men.
Yeah.
But I think Jamie passed away, so
I think he might have passed away. Yeah, we'll hear from Jamie at some point down the road. He's back on social media a little bit, but he did take some time out. But
that's sad. I miss Jamie.
He had a death in the family basically a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago. So he was dealing with that. But yeah, I'm just giving him a bit of time for that, and we'll talk. I'll have a meeting with him about what we want to do with the Dykes and Man. I think we should do something different with it.
Yeah, no pressure, but just tell him I miss him. When you talk to him, tell him I miss him. I don't give a fuck about the show, but I give a fuck about a friend that I haven't talked to now, and well, it's probably 7-8 months. I think.
I spoke to him. I spoke to him last week a little bit, but I'm more or less leaving him alone. I told him to hit me up, but I'll check in once a week with him, and I'll tell him you said.
Tell him I love him. I love you, Jamie. I miss you.
Back up at some point.
I miss your snore. That's what
the last I heard, he was doing a little bit of exercise as well and taking some days off drinking. So
wow.
We'll see if that's continuing. He might come out looking like Rogan next month. You know,
that would be
with
something.
a big head.
No, there's something wrong with Rogan. Rogan. I try not to say anything negative about Rogan, but I have to say he's not the same guy who started that. Because I saw YouTube feeds me stuff. There are comedy performances of him when he was like 22. He's not even close to the same. It's like he talk about transformations. His head was never.
It's growth hormone and testosterone.
He's got to be right.
Yeah, he says he is. He's open about that.
The other thing is
hormone.
Remember
it makes your head grow.
He had a guy on one time who had written an article that was negative about him, and he had that guy on just to undress him. And the guy's claim was that Rogan was pushing supplements and smart pills that were not good for your health, and they were bad for people, and he's pushing them as a product to make profit off it. And Rogan denied that, had the guy on, undressed him on the show, and now Rogan is doing exactly what the guy accused him of openly, without even denying. He's selling smart pills. Every episode, he's pushing these pills that are supposed to make you smarter, improve your memory, and all that kind of
Alpha
stuff.
brain. Yeah, it's you know.
But it's just weird that did you forget that you had a whole thing where you undressed a guy for accusing you of doing this? Like, you admitted that this would be the worst thing you could possibly do, and now you're doing it.
He's had that company. He's had that company for like 6 or 7 years more, I think.
Right.
On it, right? So they do like this mushroom will make you smarter, think clear. Okay.
Yeah. Well, if it works, I'm almost tempted.
Well,
to
it's also maybe a placebo as well, because placebos work, and there's also some studies that show placebos work when you know it's a placebo as well. It's interesting. In terms of like not curing cancer, but maybe make you feel better.
Right, make you feel better, but in terms of memory loss and sharpness of brain, that would be a hard, because you have to believe I can remember.
Well, things like bananas are good for your brain because they have potassium, which helps your neurons fire.
But they're bad for your colon at my age.
Well, don't put them up there. Put them in your mouth.
Oh, you put them in your. I thought you consume them this way. Oh, No, what I was told. Now you never know with this food thing because eggs are good, eggs are bad, bread's good, bread's bad.
Mm.
But I'm told that bananas make it really hard for you to lose that fat old man gut. That's what I'm told.
Yeah, I don't no idea about that. I mean, I've changed my mind a lot about diets and stuff. Right now, I'm doing okay, and I'm just eating I'm eating pretty healthy, but I'm also eating what I want. I'm just eating a certain amount of food a day.
Yeah,
I'm
that's the
not
way
eating
I'm
too
going to go
much.
out. I'm going to go out eating what I want. Fuck.
Exercising. Well, I'm not eating pizzas every day. Those days have gone now, I think. But yeah, on a Saturday, Sunday, I'll eat whatever, and then through the week, pretty good. But I feel foul for chips. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
fucker for like Doritos and shit like that. And that's my downfall.
Ralphie, when I told him this story last night about me being canceled, he said he was going to go Yelp the guy. It's like, no, don't Yelp the guy. But if I'm going to get anybody to Yelp him, I'm going to go to Brendan Walsh and say, help me Yelp this guy.
It would only, yeah, Brendan Walsh to write it, and Ralphie, if there was an audio Yelp,
Yeah.
audio Yelp would be good. Like leave him a voicemail.
Oh, I didn't know they had those audio Yelps.
No, I
now?
don't either. But what you should do is get his mobile number. It's breaking data laws. But give his number to Ralphie and get him to leave him a voicemail.
Oh yeah, I
And
could
just say
do
it's
that.
Dice Clay.
Yeah, good idea. Now, again, I'm not big on vengeance, but funny vengeance. Just a practical joke. As long as it's not causing damage.
I'd be writing his number on every toilet wall I went in.
Yeah, something like that.
The
That's
the
fair
old school
game.
tricks. Yeah.
That's definitely fair game. One time I changed a sign out in front of the marquee. I burnt down the club. Back in the day, I have to explain this to people. When your amplifier started to, like, if you had a short in your amp, there was a fuse in behind it, and the fuse would blow out so that the thing wouldn't go on fire by itself. But you could take this tinfoil out of a cigarette pack, wrap it around the fuse, stick it back in, and the amp would work until the end of the gig, and then you get a real fuse and be safe again. Well, we did our sound check, and my amp blew a fuse, and I did the cigarette thing around the fuse, put it in there, and we did the sound check. Everything went great. Let's go to dinner. We went to dinner and came back after dinner, and the fire department was putting out the club because my amp had caught on fire, caught the curtains up, and burnt down the whole stage area and all this stuff. So we lost the gig. And then we had to go back 3 days later to get our equipment that was left, that was the stuff that wasn't burnt.
Wow.
And we hadn't been paid, and the guy was going to sue us and all this stuff. So I changed his marquee outside to say something like really vulgar. I don't remember what it was, but vaginas and tits and cocks were all over it. That's the kind of vengeance I think that's fair game. But
I think it's fair. That sounds like a fair game.
In retrospect, just thinking about it, I did burn down his club, so I was in the wrong. I was in the wrong all the way.
With some hindsight, you were a terrible person, and you put vaginas all over his business.
I didn't deserve to get paid. It's bottom line. I burnt down the guy's club, but I'm sure his insurance money, he probably got more than the club was worth. So we think that I'm back to we did deserve to get paid because I'm sure he built the insurance company big time for that. They totaled the club out. Well, not completely burned down to the ground. Did kill a business for a week or two.
Oh well.
It was a long time ago. Statute of limitations has expired.
Yeah, I killed a venue owner. So
yeah,
I had a fight with him, and he was dead the next day. So whether or not that was related to the blood pressure going up, or we had an argument.
Wow.
Rest in peace, Steve.
I love that one.
People say I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm proud as I killed a venue owner, so everyone deal with me carefully.
Well, I don't know if that tops Sal Vivo's story about pissing on a guy twice. A venue owner who didn't pay him, he went and grabbed the guy and pissed on his leg. He was holding him there, and he pissed it all over the guy, like he was holding him there, threw the guy, and then ran out. He was running through the neighborhood. The guy's chasing him. He's going in and out of clubs, they have back doors and all this stuff. And they finally caught him again and wrestled him to the ground, and he pissed on the guy again.
Amazing.
I was like, well, it's great that you can just piss on demand like that. Because I have to kind of wait for the prostate to get ready. I have to sit
You
there.
got to work it up.
Yeah.
Got to work it up now.
Okay, I'm gonna pee in about 5 minutes. That's basically what I have to do. So I don't know. Killing a guy seems like fun. I want to try that. How do I give a guy a stroke? Or was it a stroke or a heart attack? What killed him?
Oh, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. The booker for him, the next day told me, and I never had the book. It was like, for me, he was pretty depressed. So it was either suicide, heart attack, or stroke. I think it's one of those because it was sudden as well. It was literally the day, or 2 days later, he was dead. The next day, he was in hospital, and I had a shouting match with him at 11 p.m. at night. Said, it's your fucking fault, man. It's your fault. There's no one here. And he was telling me it's my fault. But then we left. We shook hands. Went, I'll see you later, Steve. We left. We were like, calm down. And then I never saw him again.
And his last words were, "Go!"
Yeah, maybe. It could have been. And I should feel more guilt than I do. But it's just a funny story at this point. Also, fuck him, because they promised me they'd promote that gig way more than they did, which is nothing.
Well, when we finally do your special,
yeah,
it's got to start at his gravesite. We have to introduce the special standing there right next to his gravestone.
I do if I can find anything out about him. Now I know he had been in trouble for running like kitchens that got closed down for being filthy, like dirty from health and safety in the past.
Yeah.
And I ate one of his burgers as well or something. So yeah. I'll do, if we ever film something, I will do I'll find his grave or grab my toilet thing and I'll stand next. I don't even hate the guy. I didn't have a problem with him.
Yeah, I know.
Go, Steve, this is for you, man.
It's hard to hate a dead guy. He's dead.
Yeah, we had an argument one night that was stressful. It was right as COVID was happening anyway. You know.
Yeah. Before we do say goodbye, and I know I'm way over fucking time, but I don't care. New York City got a rat czar. Are you familiar with the story?
Yeah, I retweeted it. I saw her. They're going to create a mega rat. They're going to try and kill the rats, and they're going to invent a new breed that's 10 feet long.
In the Bronx Zoo, I don't know if I'm the only one who never knew about this. Well, when I first saw them, chupacabras. You know what chupacabras are? They look like giant rats. They're like this big.
Yeah, they're like almost like a big guinea pig as well. So I've seen them walking around the street in Brazil.
Yeah.
Wow. And I've eaten some chupacabra, or what I was saying.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
It's like a big hug.
Tastes like chicken, right?
It was nice. I had it with barbecue and some onions, just a little bit. But
I wonder if chicken ever says tastes like human.
That's probably what they say.
No, they would probably say tastes like pebbles from the ground, because that's what chickens like. They like I don't know.
Chickens will eat anything. Chickens would eat a person. If they were bigger, they would eat you.
They eat chicken shit. Right. Chickens eat chicken shit. That's what they do.
They're one of the dumbest things that are wandering around.
Peck at the ground. Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
But they do give us eggs, and I love eggs.
Yeah, so I am interested to see, because I think you would agree with this, that every time humans get involved in trying to help nature or change the habitat in any way, it always backfires.
The worst thing that has happened in a few countries is introducing a predator. So you go, we've got too many of this. Let's introduce a predator, and it always fucks things up somehow. And then the predator's overbreeding.
That's why we're overrun with turkeys. We brought turkeys in because they eat deer ticks. So the idea was to reduce the number of Lyme disease cases by bringing turkeys in. Now we're overrun with turkeys to the point where we have turkey shit everywhere.
Yeah. It's an absolute, it always goes wrong because we don't know what we're doing, and nature.
Did you see any rats when you came to New York?
No, but not this time. But last 10 years ago, on the subway, big fucking thing. I've heard they can get big, but I probably saw about 18 inches of rat just on like the F train subway in 2011. But I've heard stories and the horror movie rats, and they're super smart as well.
They are pretty smart, yeah.
Yeah, but they can also get all their rat tails tangled up, and they die because they're all tangled up. They can also do that.
That's not too smart.
Yeah.
You dirty rat! You tangled up my tail.
But I think this is going to go wrong. I think they're going to kill a lot of rats, and then I think they're going to adapt.
And then the coyotes will come in, because we do have a coyote problem just north of the city. And the coyotes will come in and take over the territory that the rats, it's like the mafia. Not that there is such a thing as a mafia. There's no such thing as a mafia. But the coyotes will sense there's an open territory and move in and say, okay, it's our spot now. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to get yourself a coyote czar?
Yeah, they will in 20 years. So just keep doing it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's time to say goodbye. Now it's time to say
I need to
goodbye
listen to stuff.
to all our company, MICKEYMOUSE. I don't know. All right. Have a great day, man. Thanks for
Have a good
stopping
day.
in for the
No
Mark
worries.
Farner
See you
show.
later.
See you later. Bye. Call in. Last Rights podcast. I don't know when he's streaming again. Probably sometime today. Follow him on Discord, and then you'll get, or follow him on Twitch and Twitter, and you get notifications like I do too late. Like I get an email that says call is streaming now. I'll click on it. The stream has ended. But at least you'll know he did it. Anyway, I got to go call Nancy back. I'm going to go talk to Nancy. You guys have a great day. I'm going to go figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Bye for now.
I Listen to me now. Listen to me. Listen